Dang. I saw that. Someone literally just left right as I started it. That's wild. But for anyone who's not watching this live, welcome to the inaugural episode, the very first episode of the Pro Nerd Sports podcast. I am your host, Ian Stoddard. It is me in the flesh. I am ready to talk about sports and be a nerd because overall that's what I made this channel for and that's what I'm good at. Don't worry, it won't just be me. Hopefully, the whole time. You guys will probably get sick of me pretty quickly because I make some terrible picks, but that's besides the point. All right, I just want to start this off by talking about something that happened earlier this week. I'll just You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. I don't think anybody, you guys might not know. You might not know what happened earlier this week. But I'll fill you in. I'll fill you in. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know how long this actually goes. I don't know how that long it actually goes on for. I have zero. That's wild that you said I have 0 viewers. It's wild that it says that because I'm watching myself. That's besides the point, all right? What happened earlier this week, the United States national team played the Mexican national team in the semifinal of the CONCACAF Nations League. If you don't know what that is, it's just like a little, kind of like, league, but instead of teams, it's countries. And we played, it's basically the playoffs, and we played Mexico because it's going to be us. We're going to play Mexico probably every single year. But we beat them 3-0. We have not. I've never seen a scoreline that big in a U.S.-Mexico game. Usually these games are extremely competitive. They usually never turn out this way. So, good job, freaking America, dude. Mexico just played awful, but I don't care. We used to lose to them all the time, and they haven't beaten us since 2019, okay? The U.S. have won 4 and tied 2. One was a friendly. Yeah, so Mexico has not beaten the United States in 4 freaking years. Let's go, America. Fist pump for America. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I love America, dude. All right. Speaking of 2019, another thing is happening for the first time since 2019. That would be the NFL supplemental draft. I'm going to be honest with you. I had no idea what that was until they announced that it was a thing again. But apparently it's for draft prospects that weren't eligible for the draft in April. They are now eligible for this draft on Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. That's when the NFL supplemental draft, a last-ditch effort for teams to fill holes on their roster. And there's quite a few teams with quite a few holes. I think every team has a couple holes here and there. For the most part, these teams are complete. But that's besides the point. One prospect I keep seeing being mentioned is wide receiver Milton Wright out of Purdue. He seems to be one of the top guys hyped up in the supplemental draft. I think Jamal Williams was drafted in the supplemental draft. I don't know. It doesn't matter that much. I don't really know anything about it. But, it's fine. All right. The supplemental draft is actually pretty interesting, too. The way it works, it's kind of like the NBA, where there's a draft lottery, but it's still like groups of teams. So it's like teams that didn't make the playoffs, teams that did, and then other teams. So basically what happens is they don't go like round by round, like I'm drafting this player. They put in bids for a player in certain rounds, and then if they get that player, they then forfeit the corresponding round draft pick in the real draft next April. Hey, we got 2 people in here now. Let's go. Someone other than me. I love you. Whoever you are, I love you. But that was okay. I'm sorry. That was a little aggressive. But thank you for watching. Anywho, we were just talking about the United States beatdown of Mexico. That's why I'm dripped out right now in my American flag. Oh, shoot. I should probably hold the microphone. That might help. Hello. All right. You can probably hear me better now. I'm not that loud, so. Whoo! But, anywho, this has already been going on for 14 minutes. Ain't no way, dude. All right, but let's keep it going. Today, we're going to be making predictions for the 2023 NFL season. I'm basically going to be doing multiple podcasts, multiple live streams of each division in the NFL. I'm starting with the AFC East today. I'll do the rest of the AFC, move on to the NFC. You get the gist. But today we're going to start out with the Buffalo Bills. And before I can really get into the Buffalo Bills, we all know that there's some news I need to address first. And that is the news concerning wide receiver Stefon Diggs, who has not shown up to mandatory minicamp. And apparently to these news articles that I am seeing, it's because that he doesn't like his position on the team, and he wishes he had more involvement in play calling, which for me, that's weird because he's a wide receiver. I'm like, he's a huge factor on this Buffalo team. Okay. He had almost double the amount of receiving yards than Gabriel Davis, the wide receiver 2. And Gabriel Davis was the second leading receiver on the Buffalo Bills team. So this team needs Stefon Diggs. Josh Allen will admit it himself. This team needs Stefon Diggs. Honestly, though, I don't think he's going to hold out. Sure, there's some internal issues, but I think he wants to play football. I think he just wants to win, and he's honestly frustrated. We all know that Stefon Diggs wants more than anyone to get to the Super Bowl, to win a Super Bowl, and the Buffalo Bills keep on coming short. And getting into these predictions, I'm sorry to announce, but I think they're going to come short a little bit again. I think they are going to regress a little bit just because of some holes defensively. And look, especially if Diggs holds out. If Diggs holds out, this is going to be a very different Buffalo Bills team. This might be a third in the AFC East Buffalo Bills team. I need to turn this down. Hold on. All right, let's see. What are some pros and cons of the Buffalo Bills? Let's start with the pros. Let's look at the good side first. Josh Allen is obviously the brightest spot on this Bills team. All right. He is a phenomenal player. He can move the ball by throwing it, by running it. I think over the years, you may have noticed that he has been throwing a few more turnovers. But, hey, they're still winning games. They've won the AFC East like 3 years in a row now. They are dominating that division, which is not an easy division by all means. This is probably one of the toughest, if not, this is probably the toughest division in football. I want to say maybe the AFC North might be a little bit. No, I got to say. All right. For any of you here, I want to know, who do you think is the best division in football right now? Because we got the AFC East right now. That's the Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, and Jets. The worst team in this division is the New England Patriots. And they really aren't that bad. They're a very mediocre team. I think their defense is going to be really good, one of the best in the NFL next season. But at the same time, I don't like Mac Jones as their quarterback. I'll get more in depth in that later. Then you have the AFC North. You got Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. I think all of those teams could be playoff teams. I think all of them can end with a winning record as well. That might That's a tough decision right there. AFC South, ain't no way it's the AFC South. The only good team in that division is the Jaguars. AFC West even, but I do think the Raiders are pretty bad. Hi, Owen. How's it going?
Oh, I'm so happy Owen's here. That just made my day. I'm happy everyone else is here too. I got 4 viewers. I'm pretty impressed with that. I didn't think I'd have any, if I'm being honest with you. People are moving. All right, Owen, answer the question. Who's the better division, the AFC East or the AFC North? If you have any idea. Oh, yeah, and I'm sorry, but I've never streamed on YouTube before. But this thing is delayed, man. This is, because I did a test stream earlier, and I could not find, when I was saying stuff. But it was probably, a minute off. So, AFC East, okay, there we go. I got my response. If Owen says it's the AFC East, it's got to be the AFC East. I'm going to go with the AFC East. AFC West is really good too, but I think the Raiders are going to pull it down a little bit. NFC East was pretty good last season. I honestly don't think it'll be the same NFC East that we saw last season. NFC North, I think I'm going to eat my words for saying this, but I think the Lions are the only good team in the NFC North. We all know the NFC South is terrible, and the NFC West has the Arizona Cardinals in it and the Los Angeles Rams. So, yeah, I'm going to go AFC East. This is the best division in football. We're going to start off with the best division in football. I'm sorry. I hate to be unpatriotic, but I have to take the American flag off. I hate America. Yes, I do. But anyways, back to the pros and cons of the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, of course, he's going to win games. He's been dominating really the AFC, the whole NFL even. This team has had plenty of team experience. This has been a pretty complete team for the last 3 years. Not a lot of movement, not a lot of changes in who's been playing on this team. These players have already been learning and developing together for multiple years now. They have a defensive head coach. I think their offense is a lot stronger than their defense, but it makes up for it. It's kind of a good balance. I think it could also come back to bite them, because... Oh, what's up? What's up, Steven? I haven't seen that username in so long, the Obsessed Sports Kid. How long is Buffalo going to be on top? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends this season. This division is becoming more competitive every single year, and I think at any second, I got the Obsessed Sports Kid in here, bro. But yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins or the Jets win the division this year. I'll show you guys what I think. I'll make my big reveal. Don't you worry. All right, but let's see here. Obviously, on the defense, we got Von Miller and Greg Rousseau. I'm gonna mispronounce the name. They have Von Miller, okay? He's good enough. I can just mention Von Miller. That'll be satisfactory, okay? Von Miller equals good. Bills defensive line, pretty good. One sneaky thing I really like about the Bills, and I know all of you in here are fantasy football players, so I know I'm probably going to be in a league with you, but just so you know, I think Dalton Kincaid is going to be a very good fantasy acquisition. This dude dominated for Utah the years he was there. He's now on the Bills. Give Josh Allen another weapon, especially if Diggs holds out. This rookie might pop off. Okay, he's by far I think the best tight end in the draft. I think he's going to be a great NFL player. I'm taking him in fantasy. Don't reach on him. Don't take him in the first round, but if he's available, 6th, 7th round, I wouldn't consider that a bad pick, really. I think that might come into fruition. I think this will age well. I'm going to be honest. But anyways, let's talk about the cons of the Buffalo Bills. Okay, we obviously know about the Stephon Diggs situation. That's a slippery slope right there. I don't think he'll hold out, but if he does, they're screwed, okay? They have some decent receivers on this team, but no one nearly on the level of Stephon Diggs. So they need him to play. Josh Allen said himself that this offense would fall apart without him. So they need Stephon Diggs. But I do think he'll end up playing. There's also a few weaknesses on this Buffalo Bills team. None of them have really held them back before, but I feel like it's fair to mention them. They don't really have a star running back. They have plenty of running back depth. They signed 2 running backs this offseason. They signed Damian Harris from the New England Patriots and then Latavius Murray from the Denver Broncos. Look, when Javonte Williams was hurt last season, Latavius Murray did great things for the Broncos. But the problem is, too, the Buffalo Bills also have a very shit offensive line. Their offensive line has been bad for a few years, and they never seem to tackle it that aggressively, really because they don't need to. They always end up being great at running the ball because Josh Allen can run the football. Josh Allen can scramble. Josh Allen can do it all, okay? They also lost Tremaine Edmonds, leaving a hole in the backfield. Okay, not the backfield. Leaving a hole in the defense. But their defensive back positions really aren't that strong either, so there is some concern there. I think this Bills team will digress a little bit, honestly, heading into the 2023 NFL season. But let's just see how this goes, all right? I'm going to hopefully switch this screen. There's no issues. Yes. All right, this is the Buffalo Bills schedule right here. I'm hoping you guys can see this. I think you can. All right, yeah. All right, I'm going to be going through this schedule with you guys. You guys can help me out too if you'd like. All right. Starting off at week 1 at the New York Jets. Like this is a tough matchup, okay? Because I don't know if you guys know, but the New York Jets did beat the Buffalo Bills last season. I believe it's 21-17 in New York. Zach Wilson was their quarterback. They now have Aaron Rodgers, so I wouldn't be shocked if the New York Jets win this game, but I want to say the Buffalo Bills start off hot. It's a new system for Aaron Rodgers, new players, new team. He's just got to get used to it, I think, and I think he's going to do that immediately against a team like the Buffalo Bills. So I'm going to give that game to Buffalo, okay? I'm going to say Buffalo beat the New York Jets week 1 in New York. So that's 1-0. I don't have okay, I'm going to have to do this in my brain. Or I might have a writing utensil that I can keep track of these. Okay, I should. All right. So starting off 1-0. You guys agree with that? You think the Bills are going to beat the Jets? You guys will probably agree with that. I think you probably will. Okay. Next, moving on. Week 2, we have the Buffalo Bills have a home game against the Las Vegas Raiders. That's a W. All right. No questions there. We can just move on. That's 2-0. At the Washington Commanders, Sam Howell. We really don't know who Sam Howell is. He had one really good game last season, and all of a sudden he's now the starting quarterback of the Washington Commanders. We'll see if that works out for them. This could be an upset, honestly. If he ends up being pretty good, this could be an upset. But honestly, I don't have enough on Sam Howell to convince me that they will beat them. So I'm going 3-0, okay? 3-0. All right, now we have a home game against Miami. And look, Miami with Tua Tagovailoa healthy on the field is a very scary team. You got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. This team is dangerous, okay? But I think the Buffalo Bills will handle them in Buffalo. I know they almost lost with Skylar Thompson in the playoffs against Miami last season. So this would be fun. If Miami can stay healthy, this is going to be a very fun game. I'm still going to give the edge to Buffalo. I would not be shocked, however, if Miami pulls through with this game. But I'm going to go 4-0, so we're 4-0. 4-0. But all right. Now we are moving on to the Jacksonville Jaguars, Week 5. This game, it doesn't say it there, but I already know this game is in London. Jacksonville plays in London twice this season. They play the Falcons there, I believe, later this season. I might be wrong about that. They play someone else this season in London. And it's kind of like their home field, their home court, home field. So, look, Buffalo hasn't lost a game yet. I'm giving it to Jacksonville. I'm going with the upset. Jacksonville Jaguars are going to beat the Buffalo Bills in London, Week 5, October 8th. Mark it down in your calendars. I really don't think this is that big of an upset. I've seen plenty of people pick this before. So, we'll see how it goes. Am I the only one watching now, bro? All of you are... Wait. Wow. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, I guess. But anyways, so 4-1. Now we got a home game against the New York Giants. I don't think the Giants... Mom, if you're watching this, I am sorry. But I do think the Giants are a little bit of an overrated team. Yes, they had a great season last year. I think a lot of that is because of Brian Daboll, but this is the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are not losing to the New York Giants in Buffalo. So give me 5-1. At New England Patriots, this will be a very interesting game. Gotta go the Bills, though. Nothing on New England really scares me that much. Mark it 6-1. Home against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is one of the worst teams in the league currently. 7-1, easy. All right, at Cincinnati, the Bills got bodied by Cincinnati last season in the playoffs. In Buffalo as well. They're not going to beat them on the road. I think they have similar weaknesses. They're similar teams, but Cincinnati's just a slightly better version. Give me Cincinnati 7-2 for the Buffalo Bills heading into Week 10, home against the Denver Broncos. It's Josh Allen versus Russell Wilson. I know they have Sean Payton there, but give me Buffalo. I don't think they're going to be losing to Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos quite yet. Home game against the Jets. Mark it down as another win in Buffalo. Don't see why not. I have them sweeping the Jets. A lot of people might disagree with that. Honestly, that's a valid opinion. The Jets are a very improved football team, I know. But, yeah, give me the Jets. No, not the Jets. Give me the Buffalo Bills. All right. 12. Moving on. We have an away game at the Philadelphia Eagles, okay? This is a loss, okay? I think the Philadelphia Eagles, in my opinion, are the best team in football right now. You're at home against those scary... I can't talk, dude. You have an away game you got an away game at Philadelphia, who has a crazy fan base. They are going to make those players' lives hell. Mark it down as a loss. I believe I have 3 losses for the Buffalo Bills as of now, making them 9-3 headed into the bye week. Coming out of the bye week, look, okay, so they have an away game at Kansas City. They're coming off the bye. Just lost to Philadelphia. Look, I think 2 out of the last 3 times the Buffalo Bills have played the Kansas City Chiefs, they have won. And I think 2 of those times were in Kansas City. I think all of them were in Kansas City. I'm taking the Bills. Bills are upsetting the Kansas City Chiefs on December 10th at Kansas City. The Buffalo Bills are going to be winning that game. Mark it down on your calendars. Yeah. So that'll put them at... I might be crazy for that, but that's all right. That puts them at 10-3. Headed into Week 15, home against Dallas. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas wins this game. They seem to win kind of weird, sneaky games against AFC opponents, I feel like. But then they'll lose some against some terrible teams. But I'm going to give it to Buffalo still. Not that convinced of Dallas. I really don't like that Mike McCarthy's calling the plays. I think and Buffalo is just a better team in general. That'll put them at 11-3 at the Los Angeles Chargers. This is a tough one for me. I don't know who's going to win this game. My gut, I don't know what my gut says either. Because, look, I think the Chargers are going to be a significantly improved team from what they were last season, okay? The Chargers are getting plenty of injured players back. They're getting Rashawn Slater, J.C. Jackson. Hopefully he can improve next season. They got Joey Bosa. They got plenty of defensive stars. Now they have Kellen Moore as their offensive coordinator. I think this offense is going to be better. I still don't like the coaching, but still, it's like I'm giving it to the Los Angeles Chargers. I say, look, Buffalo has to travel across the country to go play this game. It's prime time. I'm going to go Los Angeles Chargers. That puts the Buffalo Bills at 4 losses, I believe. I believe they're 11-4 right now. Home game against New England, 12-4. That's a W right there. At Miami Dolphins, I already said Miami could beat them. Could beat the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. I think they're going to beat them in Miami. So that rounds up to a 12-5 season, I believe, for the Buffalo Bills. 12-5, pretty good. Could win a division. Could even get a top seed in the NFC. I don't think it's going to be a number 1 seed. I think there's going to be some teams better than that, but we'll see how this plays out. But I got the Buffalo Bills 12-5. Any protest to that? No. Don't. You're wrong if you think so. All right. But anywho, moving on to our next team, we have the Miami Dolphins. All right. Look, this is a very interesting team. If you watched my power rankings video, it's really hard to rank the Miami Dolphins because, look, when Tua is healthy, when this whole team is healthy, this team is extremely good, okay? I love this team when they're healthy. They're so fun to watch. Tua's left-handed too, like me, and it's always weird watching a left-handed quarterback play like Tua Tagovailoa. But yeah, I don't know I don't know what else to say besides I love this team. They now have Jalen Ramsey. I think this defense is going to be a lot better than what we're used to seeing. And yeah, Miami Dolphins. Oh yeah, there's another star player we need to talk about too when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. Currently, I believe Miami is the favorite to land star running back Dalvin Cook. Owen, I don't know if you're still watching, but there's a fat chance this man ends up on the Miami team. I don't like their offensive line too much. There's a few holes on the offensive line. It's better than the Bills, I believe, but the depth really isn't there. And if there's any injuries to the offensive line, that means Tua can get hurt, and this whole season can fall apart again for Miami, which I'd hate to happen, but you know how injuries are in football. This could happen like at any point. But yeah, Dalvin Cook, Miami might be the landing spot of Dalvin Cook. And if he does, wherever he goes, I'm going to take Dalvin Cook in fantasy. I probably wouldn't take him as high as I normally do, but in those later rounds, hell yeah. And if he's still a free agent too, like you can take free agents in fantasy football, which I love. You can just have him sitting on your roster. And when he goes and signs with a team, he'll be good, and you'll have now like a RB1 that you got in like one of the later rounds of your fantasy football draft. All right. So let's look at this Miami's Dolphins schedule, okay? This team is also hard to predict for because they lost a lot of games at the end of last season that I feel like they might have won in the beginning of the season with everybody healthy, but also it's like we don't really know. Like, for example, the Los Angeles Chargers beat the Miami Dolphins in SoFi Stadium at the end of last season. Tua was kind of concussed during that. I think that was the game before the Packers game where he had his like third concussion and was done for the season. But honestly, I do think the Los Angeles Chargers are a much improved team either way. So I'm going to say 0-1 for Miami. I'd say they lose that game against the Los Angeles Chargers. Now it's at the New England Patriots. This is a tough one because, again, I think Miami's really good. And I think the New England Patriots are going to be a mediocre team. And I really think, at the beginning of the season, I think Tua is going to be in full force. This whole Miami team is going to be in full force. I think, I hate to say it, but I think they're going to outperform the New England Patriots. You'll see why I'm saying I hate to say it. But I know, I'm not going to root for the Patriots to win. That's not going to happen, so you don't have to worry about that. But okay, 1-1 for the Miami Dolphins. Moving on to a home game against the Denver Broncos. Same thing I said against Buffalo. I think Miami will win this at home. Give me 2-1. At Buffalo, earlier that I said that they're going to lose this game. 2-2. So starting off the first 4 games, 500. Home against the New York Giants. Again, there's not much more I can say about the Giants team. I think they will lose to this Miami squad. 3-2. Now there's a home game against the Carolina Panthers in week 6 for the Miami Dolphins. And the Carolina Panthers, I think, are going to be a very improved team. They were an ascending team at the end of last season. They only kept getting better. Now they have Bryce Young as their quarterback. Plenty of new offensive players just in general at almost every position. I do like their defensive line, but still, the Miami Dolphins, this is a team that they've been playing together for a few years. You got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on this team. And you got Jalen Ramsey in the backfield. I think this defense is going to be highly underrated. So I'll say they beat Carolina. Not by much, but I think they'll get a win against Carolina. This will make them 4-2. At the Philadelphia Eagles, y'all ain't winning that. I love the Dolphins, but I'd be shocked if they win that. So 4-3 for the Miami Dolphins. Next, we got a home game against the New England Patriots. Look, I don't think New England's going to beat them in Miami. So 5-3, I believe. No. How many losses do they have? Yeah, 5-3. Okay. At the Kansas City Chiefs, week 9. Ain't no way, bro. Is that in Germany? It's at 9:30 a.m. It's probably on a neutral site. Either way, the Chiefs are going to win. That is a 5-4, I believe. Heading into the bye week. Coming out of the bye week, they have a home match against the Las Vegas Raiders. Miami's going to win that game. I think the Raiders aren't really that good. I think Miami is really good, really because of their defense. Las Vegas, I do like their offense a lot, but I think their defense is just going to be atrocious. And I think Miami's going to have a good defense and a good offense. So there you go. And they're also playing at home. So, Miami. So that's 6-4. Now we have a away game at the New York Jets. All right, I'll stop with the Jets sweeping. The Jets did beat Miami by a hefty margin last season with the thing they were playing against Teddy Bridgewater. I think he also got hurt in that game. But either way, I have the Jets winning this game. Aaron Rodgers, he beat Miami last season. He can do it as a Jet as well, week 12. That's going to put them at 6-5. All right, at the Commanders. See, this is a sneaky game. If they have no Tua, I think the Commanders can win this one, get this one done. But assuming that every player on the Miami Dolphins team is healthy, give me the Miami Dolphins at the Washington Commanders. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Commanders. They're already assuming Sam Howell is going to be a bad quarterback, but they haven't looked at the weapons surrounding him. Okay, I will admit, though, the Commanders have a really tough schedule. I don't know how they're going to pull off more than 4 wins, but I think they're going to be better than people think, okay? But they're not beating the Dolphins. Sorry. I cannot remember where I'm at. So that puts them at 7 wins. I believe they're 7-4 now. 7-5. Yeah. 7-5. All right, now you got a home game against Tennessee. Tennessee's not going to be that good. 8-5. Home against the New York Jets. I said they get a win there. Tough divisional matchup against Aaron Rodgers, but I think if everyone's healthy, they'll get a win there. So that's 9-5 for the Miami Dolphins. Home against Dallas. I can see them losing this game. I can see Dallas pulling it through. I think Dallas has a great defense. They have a great offense as well, as long as Dak Prescott can stop throwing interceptions. But again, assuming with a full force Miami Dolphins team, give me the Miami Dolphins. I already forgot, man. I believe they have 5 losses. So I believe that's 10-5. So they're 10-5 now. At the Baltimore Ravens, I know Miami beat Baltimore on the road last season. Don't think it'll happen again because I think Baltimore is a much improved team, especially if they have a healthy Lamar Jackson. I'll give the Miami Dolphins a loss there. And then home against the Buffalo Bills. I already said earlier that I will have the Miami Dolphins beating the Buffalo Bills week 18, excuse me, at home in Miami. So I believe that brings the Miami Dolphins to an 11-6 record. That puts them behind Buffalo, but again, like one mishap from Buffalo, and it's Miami's division. All right. I think, well, really two mishaps. Well, hey, we'll see. Like I said, like I would be shocked if Miami sweeps Buffalo. Like that's something that I think's not out of the picture. But we'll move on anyways. So, all right, let's do the New England Patriots first. All right, moving on to the New England Patriots. This is another interesting team, and it'd be very exciting. Okay, it's not exciting. I'm sorry, New England Patriots fans, but it doesn't look pretty. Your Super Bowl days are over. I don't think your team is really that bad, but your schedule is brutal, especially when you're playing in the best division in football. Look, there's a few factors that could change my opinion on this. The biggest one is if DeAndre Hopkins signs with the New England Patriots. We know Matthew Judon on Twitter was hinting towards it. GM of the year. Is he the GM of the year? I think D-Hop wants to play in New England. I would think that'd be pretty interesting. It would be weird to see him in a New England Patriots uniform, but he would help out the New England Patriots so much because offensively, besides Mac Jones, who I really don't think is that good, they don't really have that many prolific wide receivers. They have Juju Smith-Schuster and Devontae Parker, but again, like they're decent, but they're not like wow guys like DeAndre Hopkins. You know what I mean? And also, I'll say this as well. I love Ramondre Stevenson and the Patriots' offensive line. I love their defense. Ramondre Stevenson, he's a first-round fantasy football pick, in my opinion. I'd take him. I think he's gonna work some wonders for New England, especially if they can't throw the ball. Because if Mac Jones is sucking like he did last season, then Ramondre Stevenson might have quite a few carries. But moving on to the New England Patriots schedule, I've looked at this plenty of times already, and it's so hard to find wins for the New England Patriots. So I'm sorry in advance, but let's just go. Let's just get straight to it. Okay, home against the Philadelphia Eagles. They're not beating the Eagles. The Eagles are gonna win this game, and they probably won't blow them out, but the Eagles are gonna win this game. Home against Miami, that's another L. I think Miami, again, with full force, Tua, healthy offensive line, healthy defense, they beat them. I think it'll be a close game. It'll be a fun game to watch, but I think the Dolphins will beat the Patriots here. So an 0-2 start for the New England Patriots, which is not what we're used to seeing if you've watched football in the last decade. Whew. Okay, now we have at the New York Jets. And, this is a different Jets team. The Patriots obviously swept the Jets last season, but barely. They won a game off of a punt return last season. And that was when Zach Wilson was playing. You have Aaron Rodgers, who's a Hall of Fame quarterback, okay? With the Jets with the much improved offensive line, mind you. So, I'm sorry, but that's an 0-3 start for the New England Patriots. At Dallas, look, Dallas is basically the New England Patriots, but with a much better offense. 0-4. All right, week 5. Home against the New Orleans Saints. The New England Patriots are going to get a win. They're finally going to win their first game in week 5. They're going to beat the Saints. I think they'll beat them handily. Congratulations, New England Patriots. You now have one win under your belt. Now, at the Las Vegas Raiders, this is a tough one because we all know how the game ended with Jacoby Myers last season. But now Jacoby Myers plays for the Raiders. And if you ask me, I think the New England Patriots are a much better team defensively. Offensively, however, I think the Raiders are a much better team. Even with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's a Jimmy Garoppolo revenge game. And Josh McDaniels. This is going to be a very, very emotional game, I guess you could say. Am I wrong for this? But I think I'm picking the Raiders. I think I'm going to pick the Raiders to win that game. 1-5 for the New England Patriots. Not the start Bill Belichick would want. Home against Buffalo, that's another L. I'm sorry. At Miami, that's another L. I'm sorry. So that brings the record to 1-7, which will probably at this point. Look, I feel like there's going to be quite a few teams that are starting off this bad. But I hate it because for me, I know that they're better than what the schedule is saying. All right? The New England Patriots are going to be better than how the schedule is portraying them. All right? But here we go. Let's look at this. Home against the Commanders. W, okay? Patriots will get the dub there. Nothing much else to say about that. Look, I think the Commanders have a great defense. They have great offensive weapons, but a questionable quarterback, kind of like the New England Patriots. But the New England Patriots in this scenario have home field advantage, so I'm going with the Washington Commanders. So that's 2 wins, 2-7 for the New England Patriots. Maybe they're going to start turning things around. Home against the Colts. The Colts are terrible. They're going to have either Gardner Minshew or Anthony Richardson starting at quarterback. And Gardner Minshew, he's all right. Anthony Richardson is not ready to play an NFL game yet, in my opinion. And, there's still question marks around this Colts offensive line and defense. So the New England Patriots, who have a more established defense, I think. I love Christian Gonzalez on that defense. They're going to win, okay? So that's 2 back-to-back wins for the New England Patriots. So now they are 3-7 through 10 weeks, heading into the bye week. Coming off of the bye week, they're in New York. Mom, you're watching, aren't you? I'm sorry. But coming off the bye, I'm going to give the win at the New York Giants to the New England Patriots. I don't necessarily think the New England Patriots are a better team than the New York Giants in this instance. I think they have a much better defense. And look, coming off of a bye, people don't realize how big of an impact that makes. But there's plenty of correlation when it comes to that, all right? So I'm giving the win to the Patriots. And look, I'm just trying to find wins here too. I think they could beat the Giants. So, yeah. New York Giants are losing to the New England Patriots. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. All right. So that's 4 straight wins for the New England Patriots. 4 straight wins. Got a dub. Two previous wins against Washington and the Colts. Week 5 win against the Saints. And now coming off the bye, a win at the Giants. Now let's look ahead. Home against the Los Angeles Chargers. Loss. This team is better than the New England Patriots. There's no other way to put it. This team is better than the New England Patriots. They're not going to lose. Okay, actually, I wouldn't be shocked if they did lose, but Justin Herbert, the receiving core is amazing. Austin Eckler, and then they got so many stars on defense. I'm sorry. I'm picking the Chargers. So that's a loss for the New England Patriots. At the Pittsburgh Steelers. They beat the Steelers in week 2 last season by a field goal. But that was with Mitch Trubisky playing. I think Kenny Pickett is, he started figuring things out at the end of last season. And the Steelers also have an amazing defense, in my opinion. They also have some pretty fun star running backs and receivers. And Mike Tomlin's a great head coach. Bill Belichick's a great head coach. I would be surprised, again, if New England wins this game, but I'm going the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were looking like the better team at the end of last season. I don't really have anything else to go off of at the moment, so I'm picking the Steelers. Now we move on. We have a Monday night football game against the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sorry, Patriots fans, but there's no way, no freaking way that y'all are beating the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's another L. At the Denver Broncos. Look, I think this is a much improved Denver Bronco team with Sean Payton as their head coach. They have plenty of new weapons on this offensive line. I think it's Ben Powers and Mike McGlinchey. Woo! And Javonte Williams is back from injury. Their defense is already really good. It's on New England Patriots level, and it's at Denver. I'm sorry. Maybe if it was the other way around, if it was in New England, I might pick New England, but I can't. It's in Denver. It's another loss. At Buffalo, that's a loss. Home against the New York Jets. The New York Jets have a good offense, they have a good defense, and now they have Aaron Rodgers. That's an L. I'm sorry, New England Patriots. I could only come up with 4 wins. 4 wins for the New England Patriots, which is going to be wild, all right? I would never expect that, but 4 wins for the New England Patriots. I think that puts them at 4-13 at the bottom of the AFC East, close to the bottom of the AFC and close to the bottom of the NFL. But hey, that's a better draft. That's a better draft pick, an easier schedule So you can always say, hey, there's next season, all right? But don't get your hopes up, New England Patriots fans. Don't do that because you're going to have a tough year. All right. Now this, for those of you watching, this might be one of the more controversial teams that I address. And you can hate me for it, all right? Like, I'm just going to say this, though. There is a very good chance that the New York Jets win the Super Bowl. I know that sounds completely insane, and maybe I am. But think about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just a few years ago when they got Tom Brady, Hall of Fame quarterback. Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls, more than any NFL team. He signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, left New England. What did we think would happen when Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers? I for one thought that they'd still suck. They would still be the New England Patriots that they were, or they'd still be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that they were with Jameis Winston on this team. But they won the Super Bowl. It's like the NFL script writers are going crazy, okay? I think this is going to happen again this year. I don't know I think the Jets will make the Super Bowl. I'm not going to say yet if I think they're going to win it. But I think they'll make the Super Bowl. Not the Kansas City Chiefs. The New York Jets. Because this is their year. They're in a win now mode. I wouldn't be surprised if Dalvin Cook ends up on the Jets. Like, the Jets are in win now mode. They have the money to spend. Dalvin Cook's a great running back. So then you have Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook in that backfield. You can't call me crazy right now, all right? You can. You can call me crazy. But let's just get into the schedule. All right, at Buffalo, we already established that I think it's going to take a little bit for everyone to get into the swing of things with New York. It's a primetime game. Buffalo's a more completed team heading into the season, so the Buffalo Bills are going to win. 0-1 for the New York Jets. Now they have a away game at the Dallas Cowboys, and I feel bad because I've had the Cowboys losing a lot of games, but we all know Aaron Rodgers owns the Dallas Cowboys, and I don't know if the Jets will have a much better defense than the Dallas Cowboys, but I don't know. Aaron Rodgers just seems to always beat the Cowboys, so I'm taking the Jets. So that's a 1-1. That's 1-1. 1-1 for the New York Jets. Now we have a home game against New England. We already established that I know New England swept the Jets last season, but it's Aaron Rodgers, not Zach Wilson anymore. 2-1. 2-1 for the Jets. I know everyone that watches this part of this video knows what I'm about to do. You see who's next on the schedule. The Kansas City Chiefs. Look, okay, you also have to kind of find games for good teams to lose because they're going to lose them, and this is one of them. I think the Chiefs are going to be undefeated going into this game. Jets are going to beat them. Jets are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in New York, Week 4. Mark it down. Jets are beating the Chiefs. Puts the New York Jets at 3-1. Now we have an away game at the Denver Broncos. 4-1. I think, again, like, I have to see it to believe it because the Broncos were atrocious last season. They made my eyes bleed last season. And I know they're going to be a much better team, but I think the Jets are going to be a much better team. They already beat them last season. So give me the Jets against the Broncos, 4-1. All right. Home game against Philadelphia. I won't get too crazy here. Jets drop a game to the Philadelphia Eagles, 4-2. The Jets are now 4-2. Got a bye week coming off the bye, playing the New York Giants. Already mentioned this in the New England Patriots section, but look, they're the same team. They're in the same place, New York, and I think the Jets are the better New York team. Mom, I'm sorry, but Jets are winning that game. So that puts them at 5-2, I believe, on the season. Home against the Chargers, 6-2. Like, I know the Chargers are a good team, but I think the Jets are a good team. They're going to have home field advantage. Like, I'm just assuming that the Chargers are going to be an improved team because of coaching and players coming back from injuries. But they might not be. It might be because Brandon Staley's just a really bad coach. I don't think he's the greatest coach ever, but that's fine. At the Raiders aren't going to beat the Jets. All right, the Raiders' defense is not nearly on that level, and I think the Jets' offense is going to be pretty good next season. Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Alan Lazard, Aaron Rodgers, Elijah Vera Tucker, Mekhi Becton back from injury. The Jets' offense is going to be pretty good. Now, what record does that put them at? I think that's an 8-2 record for the New York Jets. All right, but we already mentioned this earlier. I think they're getting swept by the Bills. They're dropping a game at Buffalo, 8-3. Home against Miami, 9-3. Look, Miami's shaky, okay? We don't know if they're going to be hurt, what's going to go on, but 9-3. Home against Atlanta. I'm sorry, Falcons fans. I know some of you are probably watching right now, but y'all aren't beating the Jets. Stop. You're not beating the Jets. I can say that confidently. 9-3. I think. Yeah, 9-3. Same with the Texans. I don't know. I know none of you are Texans fans, but Jets are beating the Texans. Nothing else to say there. 10-3. At Miami, 10-4. I think Miami gets the job done, assuming that they have a healthy team. So 10-4 for the Jets. Home against the Commanders. I know way more about Aaron Rodgers than I do about Sam Howell. And I already know the Jets' defense is good enough to compete, so it's a win for the Jets. So that is, what do they have, 3 losses right now? Or 4? 4. They just dropped one to Miami. So is it 11-4? Yeah, 11-4 at Cleveland. Beat Cleveland last season with with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco threw 4 touchdowns in the game. I remember that. Now it's Aaron Rodgers with the better Jets team, more developed and experienced Jets team. 12-4. And again, at the New England Patriots, I know. 13-4. 13-4 season for the New York Jets. So, Owen, I don't know if you're still in here, but you were asking me earlier, how long is Buffalo going to stay on top? Their days are numbered. I don't think the team's going to go away, but their days of dominating the AFC East are numbered. I think the Jets are going to take the division. 13-4 record, that's probably a ceiling for the New York Jets, but still. 13-4 record. I just went through the schedule for you. If you disagree with me, please let me know. But yeah, that concludes the first ever Pro Nerd Sports podcast. I will try and get more people. If any of you watching want to be on it, you are more than welcome to. I just want to have people to come hang out, talk about sports, talk about stuff like that, and talk about how the New York Jets are going to go to the Super Bowl. And they're going to win the AFC East. Am I crazy? Probably. I probably will eat my words, and I'll probably be known as the guy with the worst takes ever, but that's besides the point, okay? Thank you to all the people who have been watching. I love all of you. I'll give you a big fat kiss. And then, join me next time, okay? I want to get better. Give me any feedback you have. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all